This is my eMath assignment 1 based on quadratic functions. So for question 1, we have the values of our x, our y, which is referring to x squared, and we have to fill up this column right here of the quadratic formula of x squared plus bx plus c. So starting, we have a12 squared, which is referring to x squared right here, and adding a $sign F4. The $sign allows the value of our b and c to stay fixed in the row and column. We're going to multiply a12, which is referring to our x, and we're going to add the value of our c in order to get -11. So all we have to do is put down the different x values into the formula. For example, a13, a14, a15, and so on, and we'll get our answer. So if we change the value of our b to 80, you'll notice that we'll get a different set of numbers. And if we change the value of our c to 90, you'll notice that we'll get another different set of numbers. And as you can see here, for question 2, we have inserted the graph into the question, and the orange curve here represents x squared plus bx plus c, while the blue curve here represents x squared. And if I change the value of my b to 80, you'll notice that the graph becomes steeper. And if I change the value of my c to 90, you'll notice that the graph moves vertically upwards. For question 3, in order to find the numerical discriminant, we use the formula of b squared minus 4ac. And right here in our formula, you'll notice that F4 is referring to B, 1 is referring to A, and H4 is referring to our C. To find the solution of our x1, we use the quadratic formula. -F4 plus square root multiply the numerical discriminant divided by 2. While finding x2, we use -F4 minus square root multiply the numerical discriminant divided by 2. And if I change the value of my b to 90, you can see that the numbers here change. While if I change the value of c to 100, you see that our values here change as well. For question 4, we're supposed to see how the orange curve referring to x squared plus bx plus c shifts from the blue curve referring to x squared from the completed square form. And we can conclude that in the completed square form, when c minus b squared over 4 is positive, the graph will shift upward. When c minus b squared over 4 is negative, it will shift downward. But if b is positive, the graph will move b over 2 units to the left, and if b is negative, it will move b over 2 units to the right. So for example, if I change the value of my b to 4, you'll notice that the graph shifts to the left. And if I change my value of b to -4, you'll notice that the graph shifts to the right. And right now, if I change the value of my c to 10, you'll notice that the graph will move vertically upwards. For the last question, looking back at the numerical discriminant in question 3, we notice that getting a positive number gives us 2 real solutions. But if I change the value of my b to 6 and the value of my c to 9, we get 0, and hence getting 1 real solution only. Lastly, if I change my b to 3 and my c to 6, we get a negative number instead and will not get any real solutions. This will be the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.